All right. Do we want to start little or do we want to start big? Do we want to start with the small signings first, or do we want to start with
Just
the big
point
stuff?
out the elephant in the room.
Let's point out the elephant in the room. The Steelers
Do
got
it.
Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
Mitchell the Trubisky.
Are we happy? Are we not happy? How we feel about this?
I like it. I don't know about you guys, but
I like
it's
it.
the most realistic, best option out there, I felt. Mobility, a little bit of upside, cheap contract. I don't think they could have done much better free agent wise.
What do you think, Andrew?
I'm honestly the same way, but I've heard Steelers fans just like trying to burn the world down, like because we got that guy and not Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. I was like, you realize we would have had to like sell the whole team to get that one dude. And so Mitchell Trubisky, is he gonna like light the world on fire? Probably not. Is he going to be the best quarterback in the league or a top 10? No, but he'll be a top 15. He'll probably be in the top echelon based on the team he's got around him. He'll get us to the playoffs. He's not a wow pick, but I'm not upset about Mitchell Trubisky. I watched him. I have a buddy that's a diehard Bears fan. And I watched him go from Mitchell Trubisky is the savior to Mitchell Trubisky's okay and it's the offense to Mitchell Trubisky sucks to like I watched the downgrade. So like I know how bad it can be. But I really think that especially, and we'll talk, but I think the other moves that the Steelers made in free agency really support Mitchell Trubisky being successful, not by him having to throw the ball 30, 40, 50 times, but by putting a team around him that can win otherwise. So
I don't want to say I love it, but I like it for a lot of reasons. But first of all, let's talk about why he failed in Chicago. The reason why he failed in Chicago was because Matt Nagy, and because he was drafted ahead of Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. Is that his fault? Like Chicago fans were mad because of how that went down. What do you want?
Yeah, it's not on him. I mean,
exactly. It's just he got a lot of hate because he wasn't those dudes. Sorry. And I think Trubisky was drafted like second overall or something like that. I'm pretty sure like that was not a crazy pick at the time. I'm pretty sure. No. It wasn't like some huge reach. That's where he was slotted to go. So
Bears fans were ecstatic at the time.
Yeah.
According to my friend, I'm not a Bears enthusiast. Please do not quote me on that. But I've talked to my Bears friend, and people were excited about Mitchell Trubisky. They thought he could be like the one to lead them to the promised land. So
yeah, and
they even traded up a spot. Right? They traded up one spot. They traded up one spot to get him too, didn't they?
Oh God, that probably was like a steep price too, or something like that.
I don't remember that draft that well.
You go from 3 to 2, and you have to give up like multiple draft picks.
They gave up,
You go up one spot, but it's a huge spot. So
yeah.
I mean, I wake up this morning, and the first thing I hear is some quote unquote expert going crazy saying this is the worst thing ever because they didn't get Rodgers or Russell Wilson or to trade for Deshaun Watson or stuff like that. It's like, okay, let's review. They had one of the worst offensive lines ever last year. If you bring any of those guys, you cannot do anything to fix that line because you've traded all kinds of draft picks and you have a massive cap hit. So you can't do anything about fixing that line if you trade for Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson or anything like that. You mortgage the future. Here with Trubisky, it's low cost, it's low risk, and you didn't trade anything for it. It's a perfect move. If it doesn't work out, fine. Get rid of him after a couple of years. That's it. It's low risk.
You just hit on my favorite part about this. Trubisky can come in and be mediocre, and the Steelers are probably close to a double-digit team still because they're going to do well in the draft because Kevin Colbert. They got a great running back, and if they put the right pieces in front of him, that can be a really great running back. They got a solid defense. They got good coaching. The Steelers are going to be fine with Mitch Trubisky being at least mediocre. If Mitch Trubisky comes back and does like his best season and he's like really running and gunning and doing some like good stuff, Steelers are a deep playoff team, maybe. Do I see Mitch Trubisky winning a Super Bowl? Probably not. But he also kept us from trying to draft a quarterback of the future from a pretty mediocre draft class. So
do they draft Malik Willis still anyway?
Maybe.
You hear a lot of that still.
Here's what I love about this and most of their moves so far. I was hoping that they would address all of their needs in free agency. And they had many: quarterback, offensive line, secondary, defensive line. They're addressing all of those. So by the time the draft comes around, you could just get the best player available. And maybe Malik Willis will fall to them. Maybe Kenny Pickett will fall to them. Maybe that stud Georgia defensive tackle will fall to them. Maybe some great player will just fall to them, and they don't have to be desperate. I love that.
I'm not going to lie. They had me worried with the offensive line yesterday for a little while. Just Mason Cole and Chooks, that made me nervous. I was the James Daniels signing today definitely made me feel better. That's a good line now.
It's a better line. It's a better line. He has a lot of experience.
But they're giving, by getting these people this early and getting them before camp or for any of the draft or for any of this, they're giving them an opportunity to gel more so than any opportunity that team had last year, that group had last year. That group was just thrown together with spit and baling wire. And they were expected to go out and try to block for Najee Harris, who showed he's an elite running back. Like, even behind a terrible O-line, Najee Harris showed how good he was. But you put a good O-line in front of him, and the world, the world is oyster.
I think losing DeCastro last offseason really hurt them. Really like was not expected and just really wrecked their plans, because then they had to scramble, really threw them for a loop. So so now they get, so what are we looking at now as because they got James Daniel, who I don't know. I haven't heard too much. I didn't know too much about, but I heard it's a great signing. Let's see
Mason Cole was the other one.
Mason Cole. Yeah, that was a minor one. This is what he's only 25. James Daniels. This is what I heard. Never put it all together during first 4 seasons with the Bears, but he has 48 starts under his belt and offers upside and versatility. At just under $9 million per year, the Steelers are paying Daniels with the expectation that he'll become an above-average starter. It's a reasonable gamble, but there's definitely risk too. So,
and he's another guard center. So.
Another guard center, and then they also signed Mason Cole, who was with I believe the Cardinals and the Vikings. So I don't think you expect too much from him. But now
I think he's going to start at center. I think he'll end up starting.
You think he'll be the starting center? I'm fine with
that.
They're
going to compete with Kendrick Green, but I think he'll end up starting.
Yeah, the big mystery is going to be where Kendrick Green ends up. Kendrick Green showed that he was better at guard than he ever was at center, like late in the season last year, in my opinion. I mean, that's up for debate. So it's going to depend on, does one of these guys just take over center? Where's Chooks going to? Because they re-signed Chooks.
Chooks is a tackle.
Yeah,
but which side's Chooks going to, and who do you want to put next to him? And like that's what I'm talking about. It's the O-line dynamic.
Right. Well, I have I'm looking for this tweet. Somebody put it perfectly. You basically put these people where they are, like where they naturally go.
Yeah, it's got to be more left tackle, Dotson, left guard, center, Green or Cole, and then Daniels, and then Chooks at right tackle. I think that's the way it kind of plays out.
Yeah, I wish I could.
I mean, if Green can come into his own as a guard, I mean, you could also have, you could have something pretty solid there. But I mean, yeah, you're right.
Basically, Green's natural position is a guard. Put him at guard.
Yes.
Now you could put Cole at center. You could put, I believe that it's involved also. Dotson's natural position is he on the other side of where he usually plays.
Yeah, and he played right in college.
Yeah,
and he's left guard.
Okay, yeah. Here. This is okay. Ooh, this is what. Who is Duke Manyweather? Who is this guy? I don't know. He has a blue check mark, so he must be big. He's from OL Masterminds. He says, you play Daniels at center, move Green to left guard, which is his natural position, Dotson the right guard, which is his natural position. You have an athletic and nasty interior offensive line. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with bring in all the people, bring in as much competition as possible. And if Green has to sit, and if he's just the first guy off the bench or something like that, I'm perfectly happy. But you cannot have the situation you had last year. And I think they've fixed that, or they're on their way to fixing that.
Yeah, he was horrible at center last year. We can't do that again. We can't have
you can't blame the poor guy. I don't think he even played center in college. You expect somebody to go to the pros and play a whole new position as center, which is extremely difficult.
Very true.
All I want. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All I want is this offensive line to have time to become a unit. That was the thing I think most, especially early in the season, that killed that offensive line. Was they had. From playing offensive line, you have to know that you can depend on the dude next to you or the dude on both sides of you, because you have to know he's got his block, so I got my block. So like we have to make that like wall or zone or pull or whatever. You have to depend on the people like that you're playing next to, and I don't think that camaraderie ever developed with that offensive line. And I'm hoping because they get these people this early, it's going to be a whole camp and a whole bunch of veterans coming in and just really building that resilience and like that camaraderie. So
remember, hopefully this will be a quote unquote normal year, but also remember last year you had that disaster of the offensive line coach.
Yeah.
We got a new offensive line coach, don't we?
We do. We have a new offensive line coach this year, but the one last year was absolutely horrible. When the dude in the middle of the season says, "I want to leave," and you say,
he just left.
"Go ahead, go," that's a disaster. You do not. It's like, hey, bro, we're fighting for a playoff spot. Help us out. Like, no. They're like, you know what? Just go. Just get out of here. That's a disaster. So, and the other thing is, and here's the big factor. I hope I'm wrong, but I have my reservations about Matt Canada as an offensive coordinator.
Same.
Now, last year, they say you couldn't really evaluate him because he couldn't really play use his offense because, you have a very old, established quarterback there, and you basically had to work around that. So it's like, okay, so this year we're going to see the Matt Canada offense. I hope it actually works.
See, I don't think we can judge Canada by last year. With the offensive line, Ben is probably the antithesis of the quarterback that he would want as his quarterback in the NFL and his offense. Let's see what happens this year with Trubisky, who's mobile, who's maybe not as experienced as Ben, but more in the lines of what Canada's looking for. I think I'm withholding judgment. Let's put it that way till see what happens this year.
Yeah.
And Trubisky's mobile-ish. Like
no, he's pretty mobile. He's a pretty good running quarterback. He's no Lamar Jackson, but he's better than a lot of the quarterbacks that are out there that run around. Okay. Mobility is one of his. All
right. I will concede mobility for the fact that he's definitely not a running quarterback. We can't expect him to get yards with his legs. So.
I think you can. I mean, not design plays or something like that, but I could see him scrambling around. I could see him like getting some. I think
getting
he had
4.5. Yeah, sure.
I think he did. I think he did run a 4.5. I'm not sure, but I thought he did. Really
I wasn't talking about what he ran. I was talking about him getting 4 or 5 yards with an open field.
Oh no, I think he would get more than that. I'm looking up his running stats now. His running stats are actually pretty impressive in his career. I think one year he ran for like 500 yards in a season or something like that.
Yeah, and that's decent. That's not, you're not talking Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. We're not talking running quarterback. In my mind, what a running quarterback is, and I'm trying to use air quotes here.
Yeah, he's definitely not in that mold. He's more of a
I'll get him when I can guy.
Yeah.
So,
but he's what Tomlin wants. Tomlin like 8 billion times last year in press conferences kept saying quarterback mobility. It's like, you know, if you said, hey, how about that weather we've been having, Mike? Quarterback mobility. It's like, okay, cool, thanks.
Even Colbert and Rooney were on it this offseason.
Yeah. So that leads to poor Mason Rudolph. Boy,
boo.
He's Rodney Dangerfield. No respect. No respect.
Boo.
I mean, whenever you asked Colbert or Rooney or any player, it's like, hey, what's going to happen with the future? What's going to happen with the quarterback? He's like, oh yeah, well, you know, we'll be a good team regardless of who the quarterback is. Nobody said, yay, we're behind Mason. Yay, go Mason. Except for Colbert. Colbert's like, as of today, Mason is our starting quarterback. He was also the only quarterback under contract. So it's like process of elimination. Hey, I've ran races where I finished third because there were only 3 people in the thing. So I get it. But poor, I mean, he's just nobody wanted Mason as a quarterback. Nobody.
Colbert tried to tell us he had a first round grade on him when he came out of college. He was the only one, but I try to stick
I don't know what curve he was grading on, but I'm not sad that Mason is kind of getting, in my mind, it's just desserts, but I know there's people that support him, so I won't say that.
He's a good backup. Let him be.
Let him go be a good backup somewhere else, and let Dwayne Haskins, who at least has some potential, maybe like be the second guy. I would pick Dwayne Haskins over Mason Rudolph.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And it is going to be such an interesting OTAs and training camp in preseason to figure out, because really this is a make it or break it year for Dwayne Haskins. I'm not saying he's not gonna win the starting spot or something, but he is auditioning for his career in the NFL. If he has a really good preseason, kind of like he did last year, he had a really good preseason. If he has another one, he could catch on with another team, or because he's only making like $2.5 million this year, and Mason's making like $5 million or something like that. So you're saving some money if, like, you did what you said, Andrew, and make Dwayne Haskins the backup and cut Mason.
I've always been a fan of cutting Mason. So look, you can mean girl at me the entire podcast, but I will stick by my guns. Mason Rudolph is a bad quarterback.
I think he's fine as a backup. I'm not as down on him as you are. Him or Haskins is like 50-50 to me. Take or leave, either one.
I think I was gonna say maybe Mason got a bum rap, but maybe he didn't. I mean, he got outplayed by Duck Hodges.
Yeah, true.
That one year. And then last year he got outplayed by Dwayne Haskins in the preseason. What do you want? And then when he plays one game in Detroit, he almost gave away the game, or he certainly didn't win it. He had a wide open guy in the end zone and he threw it on his feet. There's no excuse for that. That was all him.
Yeah,
you couldn't beat Detroit, dude.
You're absolutely right.
No arguments here. I mean, you're on my side now. So,
so what else? What else would you like them to see them do in free agency? There's still some of their own, free agents like Witherspoon, Juju, Terrell Edmonds. Do you want to see any of them back? Joe Hayden.
Yeah, well, Joe Hayden and Juju are my two that I want to see back, but I want to see them back at the right price point. So Juju, I think, is going to be the bigger issue. I honestly don't know how big a market Joe Hayden's going to have at his age, but I would bring him back. I would bring him back for a cheap 1-year deal and just let him teach, just do his teaching thing again. Because like Weatherspoon looked better, Millette looked better, like some of the corners looked better when Joe Hayden wasn't asked to do everything on the field. So I would see Joe Hayden coming back and like as a positive. Juju, I think, is going to be too expensive. Somebody's going to mistakenly pay through the nose for him. And the Steelers are going to be like, nope, I'm sorry, Juju. As much as we love you, bye.
They have to bring another, right? I mean, I know they signed Levi Wallace today, but he's just a second corner at best. I mean, you're looking at Levi Wallace and Cam Sutton as your outside corners. That's scary.
That's scary.
Yeah. Unless you draft somebody.
I really want Witherspoon back. I think he really came on at the end of the year.
Oh, I think Witherspoon deserves to come back.
I don't know what you do with Joe Hayden. I would love him back, but as you said, not at a high price. But it's like, who wants a guy that old? It's like he has value for the Steelers at a good price. I don't know if he's gonna, and he's made his money. He's made a ton of money.
I think the level that people don't count enough comfort level. Joe Hayden's been in Pittsburgh for how many years? 5-6 years at this point.
Yep.
He's comfortable, and he knows he's on the back end of his career. Would it really be worth his while to uproot his entire life to go to another city that could be across the country, different time zone, all this other stuff, away from his favorite golf courses, because he's talked about how much he loves golfing, which is weird for Joe Hayden to me. But like, if they offer him reasonable money, I think Joe Hayden takes it, because I don't think Joe Hayden wants to move at this point. I would.
Okay, but what do you do with him?
I feel like he fell off.
You start him until somebody better comes in.
You really want him to start, though?
No, I don't want him to start. I want somebody to be better than him. But you start him until somebody better comes up. And again, I'm saying, I also think one of their highest draft needs outside of maybe inside linebacker is corner. Maybe you spend that 20th pick on a corner. The Steelers have been notoriously terrible at drafting DBs, but
there is one that's available. I think his name is Booth or something like that. That like apparently is like amazing. That if it would fall to him to the Steelers at 20, it would be amazing. But I don't know. I don't know. God.
Then safety.
A safety.
You need a safety.
I'm okay with Terrell Edmonds. Terrell Edmonds has Mitchell Trubisky syndrome. It's not his fault that he was drafted in the first round. If Terrell Edmonds was a second rounder, we would love him and we'd say, hey, he's a solid safety, bring him back. But because he was a first round pick, people are like, oh, he didn't live up to being a first round pick, but he was solid.
I'm surprised the Steelers didn't exercise his 5th-year option. I mean, safety money isn't really that big. I'm pretty shocked that they didn't jump on that and have one less thing to worry about this offseason. It surprised me.
Yeah, we're not in Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu territory.
That's a thing. I think they would have made. I mean, some of those safeties make a lot of money. The Ravens just got a guy for like $14 million a year or something like that. So that's
we just got a quarterback for that.
For 2 years. Yeah, for 2 years. God, now I can't find it. Okay, what about Juju? Do you want him back?
I want him back, but I do not want to pay through the nose for him. That's all I'll say.
I don't think there's a market for Juju. He's coming off another bad year. The injury, he didn't play much, didn't put any stats up. I don't know. If I were him, I'd try to find a team with the best quarterback. 1-year deal, try to rehab my career and go from there. But Kansas City, Dallas.
Smart. He's almost in the same exact situation he was a year ago.
Exactly.
nobody, there was no, I mean, because of the whole salary cap hell thing that everybody was in, but also, I think he was hurt too. And it's like, nobody wanted him. So it's like, okay, I'll come back to Pittsburgh for 1 year and, another 1 year deal. And so maybe he does another 1 year deal in Pittsburgh, and I'm okay with that. My problem with him is that he's just hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Especially in a young career, you're right. I mean, I like Juju. I will always love Juju for his appreciation of the touchdown celebrations where he incorporates anime and like does the Rasengan in the end zone. And I nerded out because I'm that guy because I love that stuff too. But yeah, logistically, like he doesn't. If you're gonna pay a lot of money for him, no, he doesn't make sense. And I'm sorry, Juju. Like I would love to keep you, but if you want that much money, go play for the Jets. Like go play for the Eagles. Trust me, that is not a good place to be.
I don't begrudge anybody for getting their money. And anytime I see anybody sign with the Jets, it's like, boy, you did this for the money, didn't you? Because nobody wants to go to the Jets. Same with Jacksonville. It's like you got it.
Do you see they signed Airbud?
Who?
Airbud.
Who's
the
Airbud?
dog that can catch passes.
Oh, they signed Airbud.
They're signing everybody. Sorry, it was a bad joke. It's better with the visual.
That's
I don't have the visual ready.
He's probably to like $100 million deal or something like that.
Yeah, for 2 years.
Yeah. I really also want them to address the defensive line. Because I don't know what's going on with Tuitt.
Tuitt's the $1 million question, right? Is he coming back?
$10 million question or 14, whatever he is. He's
yeah. Well, we get Alualu's supposed to be back, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you can count on him. At 35 years old.
I mean, he's old. Cam Hayward's not exactly young. You gotta do something in that position.
I think you're right.
That's another one of my areas of concern is really, especially while Hayward's there, get somebody really talented that Hayward can be like, hey, child, come here, learn how to do like all the good stuff that I do. So we can do it together for 2 years and then I'll retire. And then you can do me. You can basically be me. Like, hey, I'm Batman. You're Robin. Let's go.
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yoda and Luke Skywalker. Tuitt's cap hits this year is 13.97, basically 14 million. Yeah. You could do a lot of things with 14 million. I would say, hey, okay, you want to come back? Let's redo this contract because I would say, especially considering the goodwill the Steelers built with him last year, because I mean they were pretty good to him. He was going through some stuff, but like they were decent to him. So yeah, I'm with you, Joe. Renegotiate that contract a little bit and try to get that cap hit down.
I get the sense they're going to roll with what they have. They're going to count on Tuitt. They signed Montravius Adams back.
That was huge.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I did see that.
I think they're going to roll with what they have, unfortunately, because I do think they need an upgrade. But so many. What do
you guys think about the inside linebacker position? Do you guys believe in Devin Bush?
Oh, Schobert should go.
He's still
Schobert's another one making a boatload of money.
He's a $7.8 million cap hit.
He's a $9.7 million cap hit.
Maybe I got those numbers mixed up then. I thought he was 7.8, but yeah, he's a big cap hit regardless. And he was supposed to be the fix. He was supposed to be the guy you put with Devin Bush, and they were supposed to be like the dynamic duo in the middle. And then honestly, both of them underperformed. I don't believe in Devin Bush either. Like, I know he's got one more year for contract, but I would draft it. If you have a stud inside linebacker, like a Ryan Shazier type there at 20, take him and run.
It's such an important position. And Bush was horrible last year. You could say it's because of the injury. Okay, cool. Well, that's not going to be an excuse this year. You could also say, well, the defensive line was so bad and it's really not fair to put on an undersized linebacker to be to have to make those tackles. Okay, whatever, but something needs to be done. And if Devin Bush doesn't work out, that's huge. It's a huge blow to the Steelers defense. But yeah,
I think more year. The knee injury was serious. Like your point about the defensive line was good. Also, I think I'm the last Bush fan in Steelers Nation. I think you give him one more year. His rookie year was great. I mean, he was pretty dynamic rookie year, and then the injury happened. So we'll see. I give him one more year.
Yeah, it's not like he forgot how to play. It's that I think he just wasn't. The injury really affected him, and it's like, okay, fine. Well, now we have another year, so that hopefully he'll be okay. Yeah, I mean,
I do really hope for that. But what I'm saying also is, if you draft another inside linebacker, like an elite inside linebacker, like some real like big name guy should have been taken in the top 5, falls due at 20. You take him, because then you put him next to Devin Bush. And if Devin Bush decides he's going to play to the elite status, what do you got? You got a stud pair of middle linebackers right there. And you can build an entire defense around that.
You can't
Not to mention you got the defensive player of the year on the outside. So,
right. You can't have enough good middle linebackers in this defense in a 3-4. So
yeah,
I'm perfectly okay with that. Perfectly okay if they go inside linebacker in the first round.
They definitely need somebody to play alongside of him. I don't know, maybe Bobby Wagner or Miles Jack for free agents.
Yeah. Now we're talking. We're talking. Miles Jack, baby. Let's go.
Miles Jack, I'm pretty sure is going to the Eagles.
Is he? I didn't hear that.
I'm like 90% sure. I think I saw that. I'm pretty sure the Eagles agreed to terms with him. Miles Jack's the
Jacksonville one.
Yeah, the Jacksonville guy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like 90% sure he's going to the Eagles.
I'd settle for Bobby Wagner. I would settle, even though he's a little old. I'd be happy. I'd be fine.
I mean,
with
they
Bobby
tried
Wagner.
with Melvin Ingram last year, and I mean, it sort of worked for a hot second.
Well,
it worked for like 2 games out of like the 5 he played.
But that was a scary situation. That you don't want that. You don't want a guy to be so mad and say, I demand a trade and basically force your way off the, you want a situation. I mean, because I think Ingram thought, well, I could beat Alex Highsmith. Who's he? And then he couldn't. So that was a problem.
Highsmith looked okay last year too. Like, I mean, I like Alex Highsmith personally.
Oh yeah, Highsmith was fine, but if there's some veteran that comes in, I just want it to work out and not be, because that was not a good situation where somebody is unhappy and he forces his way off the team in the middle of the season and then we play him in the playoffs. That was a bad situation.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Are they going to roll with Joe Schobert? I mean, you would think they would have cut him by now to save some cap room.
Right.
Agents. I mean, I get the feeling they're going to roll with him again. Which.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. He was okay. It's like I think he was just a victim of being next to Bush, who had a bad year, and that ridiculously horrible defensive line that just broke the whole defense.
They traded for him late too. He didn't get any training camp or a lot of training camp or preseason actually.
Yeah.
Poor guy goes from team to team. I think he's like 5 or 6 teams in 5 or 6 years or something like that. Like, poor guy. He rents, he does not buy.
Yeah.
He's like,
they also got Taco Charlton at outside linebacker. So everyone's excited about tacos, right?
Is Taco
it is Tuesday.
Is Taco back?
I think he's a free agent. Yeah.
He might be a free agent, but he's not listed like as on the thing. And we also have that Suzuka guy, that random like Clay Matthews wannabe that like got like 2 sacks in the last game.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
So if Juju's not back, who played wide receiver? They need another wide receiver.
Well, because they're definitely not bringing back James Washington.
James Washington wants to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
I want some adults in the room. I think that
Jarvis Landry.
Yes. I
He's
would.
Was Landry's a free agent?
I would be very happy with that.
He's actually like able to catch footballs, which some of our receivers seem to forget how to do at times. Sorry, that was mean. I apologize.
No, it's accurate. The drops are a problem.
Yeah. If I don't see video of Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson spending the entirety of their summer, like on hours, like on YouTube, like I want to count the hours of just them on the jugs machine, just like, okay, we slept now.
Dear God.
Okay, we got back up. We caught balls for 20 hours, slept. Like that's all I want to see on YouTube. I don't care about your highlight.
I want them to be getting hit with that ball machine in their sleep. I want them to just that's how I want them to be woken up. Is just getting hit with balls, just instinctively just to start catching it.
In fairness, Ben wasn't the most accurate quarterback his last couple of years.
That's
either.
true. I mean, that was a bad situation. You know, Ben didn't want to get hit. It was a bad line. So as soon as he got the ball, he threw it. And the other teams knew that. So it's like, oh, they dropped the ball. It's like, well, it was the same play every time. Slant, throw. It's like, okay, we know what's coming. We're gonna blast you when you get that ball.
Well, yeah, he didn't have, go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dave.
You're good. He led them into traffic more often than not. They were getting killed out there. They really were. So
that's the thing. It's
drops are not a surprise when that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that there's a quarterback who is not getting AARP mail. I'm glad they went a little bit younger there. You know who's available? Allen Robinson. I would love Allen Robinson.
He has history with Trubisky in Chicago.
Yeah.
There you go. Also still
I don't think
available.
he's going to come that cheap though.
No, it's going to be
no. Yeah. Stefan Gilmore is also available. I'd love him.
I said on Twitter today, I thought the Bills would sign him today. I really did. I thought there was interest before him.
I'm sure somebody will. Honey Badger's available. Give me Honey Badger. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Gronk. Let's get Gronk. Oh my God! You know who's available?
You know he's going back to Tampa, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I
do.
Yes, I do. Hey, let's get OBJ. Let's get Odell Beckham.
Yes, let's rip away a star wide receiver from a team that just won a Super Bowl.
Melvin Ingram is available again. Here's
Shocker.
another. How about Marquez Valdez-Scantling for who was with the
Exxon
Packers?
Valdez.
Exxon Valdez-Scantling.
Green
Yeah.
Bay. Yeah,
I like
Exxon
him.
Valdez.
Give me him. Yeah.
Did you guys see what Carl Patterson did last year with the Falcons? Running back / wide receiver. He was pretty impressive. I'd like to see him in the Steelers.
There you go.
You can actually fill that backup running back thing. So
I want a good backup running back for Najee. I want somebody
Benny Snell. What are you talking about?
Oh boy.
God.
You didn't go there.
Benny the Snail.
Yeah, Cordarrelle Patterson is available. That would be cool.
I wouldn't mind him.
He'd be the backup running back, and he could play wide receiver too.
You know what else is available? Leighton Vander Esch. I wouldn't mind him.
The neck injuries with him.
Wait, Vander Esch, you're talking the middle linebacker from the Cowboys?
Yeah,
he's available. He's available. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he gets hurt like every third play, but
that's true. Oh, it's gonna be Dante Hightower. That's another one. That's another interesting one. Yes, he's 32, but that'd be another interesting linebacker.
There's plenty of linebackers.
I had Miles Jack and Alex Singleton for inside linebacker. Any interest in those? They're inside linebackers. One's from the Eagles. One's I think was from the.
Yeah, I would love. Ooh, Rashad Penny. I would love him.
Yeah.
Running back.
Running back.
I would love. I mean, the thing is, with any running back, you're basically going to say, hey, you're not going to play much. So there's that
You're
problem.
behind that guy, and then Najee Harris walks in the room and is like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah. So it's still, I mean, we're 2 days into this. It's just fun.
Long way to go.
It's fun.
This has been so much fun compared to other Steelers off seasons. This has been
usually every year the Steelers are right up against a cap. They don't do anything because they don't have any money. And this year they had plenty of money and they could play around. So,
and I like what they did so far. Like specifically, they addressed the quarterback concern. Yeah. Is it the superstar Aaron Rodgers we all wanted? Nah, not really. But did you pay through the nose for it? No. And we got two solid offensive linemen to put in front of Najee Harris and that new quarterback. So hopefully he doesn't have to throw the ball that much. So I'm happy.
I'm excited.
So far.
I'm excited.
I'm happy with it so far.
All right, guys. Well, this was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was not the.
No, we both said yeah. We just
I thought you said eh.
Oh, no, I said yeah.
Okay. Anyway, awesome, guys. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you.
All right. I'll see you.
So long.